Everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. The transfer window is officially open. It's time to get down to business, time to get the signings done. We already have an idea of which players we are looking for. We are looking for a right back. I don't know if Ben White will still be here or not, but we're definitely looking for a right back, according to the reports from the last couple of weeks from David Onstin and others. We already know that we're looking for a midfielder, that's for sure. We've been linked to players like Fernandes, to Tonali, and players like that. And also Bouaddi, the new sensation at the World Cup, playing for Morocco. We know that we're also definitely looking for a left winger. We've been linked to different names. Is Rogers going to end up being our left wing and attacking midfielder? Are we going to end up with Barcola? Looks like Tzolis from Club Brugge could be the first signing we are making. We'll be linked to a couple of other youngsters like Monga, and we are also looking for either a second striker or a striker. So either an attacking midfielder or a striker. That will be the fourth position. We don't know exactly who it's going to be. Is it going to be Rogers in that position? Are we going to replace Jesus with an out-and-out striker up front? Those are the four positions we're looking at. So one right back, one midfielder, and two forward players. That is what we are looking at, and that is what we've been told we're looking for. Is it going to be just 4 signings, or is it going to be more than that? We have to wait and see. David Onstin told us already that it's going to be a very eye-catching transfer window for Arsenal. Andrea Barton to have crazy stuff planned. We have enough money to get the players in the door. Are we going to, sign? Is it going to be 2 big signings worth over 80 million pounds? Are we going to make 3 signings of 80 million pounds? Because we were told it's going to be almost the same amount of money that we spent last season, but it's not going to be on 8 players like it was. This time it's going to be on just four players probably. So that sounds exciting. Also, we are keeping an eye on players who might leave. Players like Trossard, could he be on his way to Besiktas? At the time of recording this, he will be playing against Egypt tonight. And then we are waiting to hear what is happening with players like Martinelli. We're waiting to hear what Nwaneri's future is at Arsenal. Is he going to stay? Is he going to be loaned out? Is he going to be sold? Chelsea want him as well. Jesus has been linked to several clubs, surprisingly, including English teams like Everton, Juventus want him. Arsenal want more than 20 million for him. Alvarez doesn't look like it's going to happen. Atletico Madrid want 500 million, so I don't think if that one is going to happen. The Krupi one has gone a bit quiet the last 1 week. Obviously, people are now focused on the World Cup, but there's some players who are not at the World Cup, like Tonali and players like that. Those ones are not at the World Cup. So a lot to keep an eye on for the next 3 months. So let's start with what news has come out today, and that is on Morgan Rogers. So Aston have been stepping up their interest in Morgan Rogers, although his future will not be determined until after the World Cup with England. Also, Arsenal also have watched Bradley Barcola and Diomande, as well as Bahoya. So let's start with Diomande, because he played against Hincapié yesterday. So if you don't know, by the way, every time an Arsenal player plays, I'm doing a short review, so you can check the short section. We've already talked about Havertz against Curaçao. We've talked about Gabriel's performance against Morocco. We've talked about Hincapié against Diomande and Ivory Coast. Diomande was absolutely class yesterday. He destroyed Hincapié. I think he dribbled past Hincapié like 4 times. I think the whole of last season, Hincapié was dribbled past 18 or 19 times or something, like less than 20 times. But in this one game, he's dribbled past 4 times. And Yan Diomande won man of the match, and he went to the other wing in the second half and he destroyed the right back, and the right back got subbed off as well. So, and he won the man of the match. So he was really, really good, and he destroyed Hincapié. In the position Hincapié was playing, to be fair to him, he was playing almost like a left wing back, going forward a lot. So he was being caught out of position a lot. But Diomande was really good. So interesting to see that we are looking at him. He's only 19 years of age. I think he plays for Leipzig, but he's only 19. Barcola we know about. Barcola is one that a lot of Arsenal fans want, but they still seen a lot of Arsenal fans who are not too sure on Barcola. People are asking, is he really an upgrade on Martinelli? Is he really an upgrade on Trossard? Some people feel like it's not worth that money. Some people are looking at it like Barcola is sitting on the bench for France and PSG. Is it just a backup that PSG are ready to give away? Why can't we go for a Dua or Kuvara? That's what people are asking. Not everyone is 100% sure on Barcola, but there's not too many left wingers who are available. If you want like top left wingers, you're not going to get Kuvara and Vinicius. That is impossible. You're not going to get Mbappe. That is impossible. So Are you going to go for Mbappe? Has been playing as a striker anyway, so unless you want him to buy him and play him on the left side like he used to do back in the day, it's tough. So unless you go for the younger emerging players like Diomande and Jeremy Monga, or you be clever and you sign Rodgers and you know how to use him on the left side and you know how to use Eze on the left side, or if you're just looking for an out and out left winger, there's not too many. There's only players like Barcola. Maybe you can get a couple of others in the Premier League. Some people wanted Mitoma, but he's currently injured. So Barcola is one that is available. You can get others. We're looking at Tzolis from Club Brugge, obviously, but there's not too many that are going to take you to the next level. Kvaratskhelia was the last one before he joined PSG. He was the one that was available that people should have gone for, but that didn't happen. And the market right now is not happening. Now, we obviously want Christos Tzolis as well. He's only going to cost us 34 million. He's a good left winger who can also play behind the striker. It's not going to be our only signing, as we've already been told. This signing will not affect the other signings that we are making. This is just a market opportunity. We're just being opportunistic with this one. A 34 million pound players has emerged, and his numbers are very good over the last 2 seasons. They've actually said they've used the numbers and data because his numbers are very good in terms of goals and assists, and they've decided, hey, why not? He's only 34 million. Let's try, just in case Martinelli leaves and Trossard leaves. I think Tzolis is a replacement for Trossard because Tzolis has been scoring goals and assisting. He will be the direct replacement to Trossard. So maybe they just want to have that signing in place. So even if Trossard goes, you're like, okay, let's continue looking for another left winger and let's see if you're going to get any good money for Martinelli. But for now, we know we've replaced Trossard with this particular player. Let's see, but they're still going to sign another left wing. I don't know if that is the case, even if Martinelli stays. If Martinelli stays, does he become the third choice winger? Does Tzolis play in a different position, maybe even help Saka on the right side? Does Martinelli go up front and play as a backup 9? Like, there's a lot that is going to happen. There's a lot I'm very interested to see. There's a World Cup now, but after the World Cup, it would be very interesting to see how we line up in the friendly matches, because a lot of players will be tired. You expect our players to go further in the competition. I mean, I say that, but players like Ryan and Zubimendi are not really playing for their country, so they're resting. So I guess that is good for us. But is Rice going to continue as the 6? Is he going to move the 8 to the 8? Is Lewis Kelly going to start the first game of the season in midfield? Is Timber going to be 100% fit for next season? What happens with Calafiori and Incapi? We'll talk about Incapi as well here again, apart from being destroyed by Diomande. By the Incapi was still good. I did the review, just check the shot section. I do a review on all the players. He was still okay. He still won like 6 out of his 10 ground duels. He still defended well, but struggled against this particular player. Calafiori, what is happening with him? Like, there's a lot. What happens to Kepa? Are we going to get a backup goalkeeper that would mean 5 signings? All that. We're going to get decent money for Jesus and all those guys. Let's see. But we're also linked to Rodgers and Bahoya. I don't know much about what Bahoya did last season. I'll have to check. Let me see. Bahoya, I don't know about his numbers and all that. I haven't. This is actually the first time I've seen his name being linked to Arsenal. So last season, let's see. Bahoya. Let's see all seasons. Let's see how he did last season. So I can see, 3 goals, 4 assists in the Bundesliga last season. He's only 21 years of age, so this would be. I don't think we'll have a transfer window where we sign Bahoya and Tzolis. Those are young, and obviously people think like Tzolis is going to adapt to English football. You want to sign one younger one and then one experienced one winner like a Barcola or the other top wingers that we are linked to. I don't think you want like 2 players that you're not 100% sure about. So we wait and see what happens to and Frankfurt is a selling club as well. I think they've just sold their defender to they're selling their defender to Bayern Munich, and that's Nathaniel Brown. So that's the latest in terms of the winger situation. Let's take a look at this as well. Arsenal have opened preliminary talks to sign Ayyoub Bouaddi and hope to complete a deal for 50 million plus add-ons, sources have told Football Insider. Lille are holding out for 60 million with Bouaddi keen to move to the Premier League this summer. Again, this is another player who's played really well already at the World Cup. We already linked to him before the World Cup. We were told that the first time we linked to him was January 2025. He was 16 in 2025. So now he's 18. This was January of last year. That is when we were linked to him. And at the World Cup, he absolutely destroyed that Brazil team with Paqueta and Casemiro and those guys in midfield. And for his age, he was very, very dominant. Now, are we going to have a situation where we have Rice and Zubimendi, and then we have two younger ones next to them in Bouaddi and Lewis Kelly? That will be very interesting. What happens to Nogard? 50 million for Bouaddi, I think, is a good price. If we end up signing Bouaddi for 50 million and we still go for like a Tonali, that will be interesting because Tonali as well is not going to be cheap. Newcastle also want, 70, 80 million for Tonali. Is Tonali, Rice, Lewis Kelly, Zubimendi, Bouaddi too many players when you still have Nogard as well and you still have players like Merino? I don't know. I mean, listen, we saw last season that ultimately you're going to need all of these players because injuries happen. We've seen that, there's some point where, what was crazy? I think in April, that was like the first time Havertz, Eze, and Odegaard played together like in a game. That was like there's a time Eze and Odegaard started together. It was like the second time the entire season where they started together in that midfield because one of them was always injured. Merino's out, Sarko's out for a significant period. Gabriel's out for a significant period. Timbo's out for a significant period. Same with Calafiori. Same with Nkapie. Same with Gyökeres. Like every single player. In Ez and Odegaard, they literally picked up injuries like 3 different times. Ez wasn't injured once. He was injured. And then he came back and then he ended up missing the final against Man City. Like, there was a lot of injuries. So you're ultimately going to need all of these players, especially when you see how tired Zubimendi was at the end of the season. After you see Rice, how tired he was. I'm hearing that Rice had to get injections on his back at the end of the season, and now they're making sure that he's going to be available for England. Like our players are tired. So you're going to need a lot of fresh legs. If you want to go one step further in the Champions League, and you want to go one step further in the Carabao Cup, and you want to retain the league, and you want to try for the FA Cup as well, a lot. Hincapie was also considered by Real Madrid alongside Ricardo Calafiori, but in the end, Mourinho chose Marc Cucurella. I mean, they say that the Arsenal wordings, Calafiori rejected Real Madrid, and then they decided to go for Cucurella because if that is the case, then I really love all of these defenders because Saliba said no to Real Madrid. Gabriel said no and signed a new contract. Timber is going to stay. Mosquera is obviously new, is going to stay. Ben White, we wait to see what happens with him. He's obviously injured at the moment. And then on the left side, looks like both Calafiori and Nkapie are going to stay, which I like that combination of the two. Nkapie, by the way, actually going to pay his money this summer. He was on loan, so you're actually going to buy him on a permanent deal now. The combination with Calafiori is good. There's one who's a better defender, one is better going forward. I like that. Even in Nkapie yesterday, watching him for Ecuador, you're still going forward and crossing the ball while he was playing almost as a left wing back. But that kind of when you're playing against a winger like Diomande, kind of struggle. So in terms of outgoings, there still could be some that end up going, but there's others that we know are definitely going to go, like Jesus. But you're waiting to see how much we get. If you get good money for Jesus, it's over 30. If you get good money for Trossard, it's over 30. And we replace them. Let's see. But those are the names that will be linked to. I don't think I've forgotten anyone. Mateus Fernandes is not going to happen. We were told that Arsenal will look at it as too expensive, so it looks like it's going to go to Man United. Let's wait and see if Tzolis joins us soon. He's not at the World Cup. Same with Tonali, so maybe those deals will be easier to do because their teams are not at the World Cup or the players are not at the World Cup. We also linked to Corner from Roma, but him is at the World Cup, so this will be difficult. But this one is if we don't get players like Tonali, and I don't know if the plan is just to get Bouaddi and no one else. All that to keep an eye. I don't think I forgot anyone. So far, the World Cup, Gyökeres and Havertz have been great. They've both scored. Gyökeres assisted. So let's see what happens. Merino came in late. The other two players for Spain didn't play. But let's see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. As of now, thank you for watching. The live shows will be back from tomorrow. Now that the transfer window is open, let's hope things start building up. With the World Cup, anytime there's a tournament, things are a little bit quiet. But you expect it to gather pace because there's some players we're linked to that are not at the World Cup. And there's players who could end up leaving that are not at the World Cup as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.